Your snacking routine can get a little dull. Time for an Oikos remix or light and fit remix. Like a crunchy storm of sea salt praline pretzels, dark chocolate, and butter toffee, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 6 remix varieties, 3 Epic Complete Protein Oikos remix options, or 3 craveable light and fit remix options. See remixyogurt.com.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
It's The Other Side of Midnight.
So there we go. Pamela Beaty, welcome to The Other Side of Midnight.
Well, thank you so much, TJ. It's so great to hear your voice.
It is wonderful to hear your voice. And after all these years, 15 years ago easily, we sat in a teeny tiny studio together and went on a real, for myself, profound journey through a conversation. And I learned so much in that hour or two. And again, as soon as I knew I would be hosting this program, right off the bat, and this is my second night. So I took the first night to warm up, and now it's all Pamela. And at any point, if anybody wants to go to PamelaBeaty.net, and that's with one T, Pamela with one T, Pamela Beaty with one T, .net. You can always go over there. So, Pam, how you been?
I have been pretty darn good.
Yeah. Oh, there's that laugh. Yeah, you know what? That's your punctuation is the laugh, and that's what's glorious. Yeah. I love your light.
Oh, thanks, TJ. When I was a little kid, when they'd lose me, my grandmother would say, "Just wait, she'll laugh. We'll hear her."
I love it. So, Pamela, today in doing my research, I have to say I was thrown off by the word akashic, because that wasn't to my memory. It wasn't a part of so much of the conversation about 15 years ago that you and I had, and I kind of tripped over it because when I started doing research, it came up as akashic records, and then when I started reading a little bit, I learned that shamanic and akashic healing, the akashic, and if I'm saying that wrong, it's almost like a hard drive.
Yes.
For your memories. Tell me about explain for everybody listening, what is shamanic healing, and then if you could describe a little bit what the akashic healing is all about.
Sure. The shamanic healing is basically the shamans can tune into all different realms and all different levels of energy. We can see past lives. We can go into the akashic. We can be spirit mediums. It's just a way of describing pretty much everything I do. Mm. And the akashic records, when we met 15 years ago, I was going into the akashic records to get the answers to people's questions. Like when somebody wanted to know about their past lives, I could look into the akashic records and find it. But at the time, I didn't really realize that that's what I was doing. I know that sounds funny, but that's just the honest truth. I knew I was going somewhere, but I didn't know where I was going. So that's how I found out about it. And it is, you said it right, it's a spiritual, mental, emotional hard drive. It's where everything is stored. Everything you've ever done, said, felt is stored in the akashic records. And pretty much nothing you can't find out about yourself if you go in there.
So one doesn't need a guide or a coach or a therapist. Can one delve into their own akashic records?
100%, yes. It's just it's like anything else you learn to do, right? And you can teach yourself how to do it. I mean, to me it's easier if you have somebody to go with you. But because you get a second opinion. There are some.
In other words, you help people interpret.
Yes.
So you can find yourself facing a wall of information. I would imagine. How many? It's infinite life experiences. Am I right? I mean, it's literally a massive bowl of information.
Yes, it's literally everything about you, everything you've ever done. The trick that I have found is when you go into the Akashic by yourself, it's a little tricky because you have to set your intention. If you don't set your intention, you can go all over the place. And you can only go in. A lot of people think, I can go in and find about my boyfriend. You can't. You can only go into your own Akashic records. You can't go into somebody else. So when I take people, it's a little different with me because I am intuitive, so I see what they're seeing. So I'm like a tour guide. I do the same way with my past life therapy. So I see what they're seeing, and sometimes I see ahead of what they're seeing. So I'm able to guide them through the records. And a lot of times, Akashic readers just, they might see it themselves, but they don't see what the other person is seeing, which is fine. You know, you still get all the information you need. But it's a little tricky. There are just a few rules of the game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a few things you should not be doing, but
so you can't just.
Part, if you can go in there.
You can't just go in willy-nilly. You have to go in, like you said, with an intentionality. You have to go, I would imagine, too, you have to know your client. You have to know what they can take and what they can handle at any given moment. And also, I would imagine, when you were just describing, that guiding process, it sounds like, too, that when you're seeing something maybe just ahead of them, I would imagine that you find yourself having to maybe prepare them for something they're going to learn.
I try. Well, I think some people do, but I'll tell you why I don't. Because of the way I work, I'm an empathic intuitive.
Yes.
So I feel what they're going to feel automatically before they even feel it. So when I get the information, I'm going to feel what they're going to feel. But for the most part, you're not going to see it if you can't handle it. It's you'll see it.
Yeah.
Because there's really, if you're going in there to get information, first off, you have an Akashic record guide that sets everything up. So you set your intention, and then your Akashic record guide sets up the Akasha for you.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there and pick it up for when we come back. I want you to walk us through what that process is like. This is The Other Side of Midnight. I'm TJ McCormack. We're talking to shamanic healer and empathic intuitive and a really, really sweet human being, Pamela Beaty. And we're going to be right back here on The Other Side of Midnight, 1-800-848-9222. Get on the line now.
The Other Side of Midnight.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
This episode is brought to you by Buick. When you have 4 new tires, every drive feels fresh. Right now, buy 3 select tires and get 1 for just $1 during the Buick Certified Service Fresh Start Tire Event. Visit Buick.com/service offers or see dealer for full details. At participating U.S. GM dealers only, highest or equal value tire will be $1. Offer ends 5/31/2025. Not available with other offers.
It's The Other Side of Midnight.
Wow. Thank you, Donna, our listener from Philadelphia, who is listening. We're sending that all the way to Greece. Where the heck is Donna? Donna's she's listening in Greece. I forget where, but she chimed in yesterday on X, on Twitter, and mentioned that she's listening and that her favorite song was that one there by Queen, and Don't Stop Me Now. Fantastic. Hello there, Donna in Greece. Thanks for listening. This is The Other Side of Midnight. My name is TJ McCormack, 1-800-848-9222. You can find me on Twitter at TJ McCormack. And we set up a little Gmail account, too, if you want to reach out there. Other Side Talk. How about that? I came up with that all on my own. All on my own. OtherSideTalk@gmail.com. We're talking to Pamela Beaty, 1T, PamelaBeaty.net. And she is an empathic, intuitive, I'm going to say it 94 different ways tonight. Shamanic?
That's right.
Okay, shamanic healer. And we're learning about an entirely new thing to me, the akashic records, and it's sort of we've sort of just stipulated that it's a kind of a hard drive with all of the memories of all of your past lives, all of our past lives, all found in one place. And Pamela takes clients on a bit of a journey to encountering those memories and helping people interpret them. Is there anything to interpret, or are these things? Are these memories, Pamela, are they kind of straightforward and literal, or do you have to pick them apart and figure them out?
Well, let me think how to answer that, TJ. Okay.
All right.
So in the Akashic records, everything is symbolic. So you have to interpret what that symbolism means. Universal language is symbolism. So in the Akashic records, it's symbolic. So if you walk in and you see a teddy bear sitting on a table, the Akashic records are also interactive. So you can walk up to that teddy bear and say, "What do you mean? What are you trying to tell me?" And then you will get an answer from the teddy bear. I mean, of course, I've never asked a teddy bear. It just popped into my head.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But it's interactive. So you set your intentions, you go in there. Like, I've had people want to know what kind of path they should take, like quite often career-wise. And I can take them in there to a room that it's all lined out so you can see what you had planned, because we all have our lives planned before we go into the body. So you can go in there into this room and see if you have your life plan. The other day I went in the back of, you have a room set up. When you walk in, there's a room, and you look around the room for items that are kind of calling you, and then you figure out what they mean. So in that way, you have to interpret.
Do I have to be with you? Does someone have to be with you in a room to go into that room, or are you able to do these remotely?
I only do them remotely. I only work on the phone.
Okay, all right.
All the work I do is on the phone.
Tell me this: do clients? Do you call them clients, by the way?
Yes.
For all I know, there's some Eastern word. Okay. Do clients need, and maybe I've already answered it for myself, but do clients need to believe in this for it to work or for it to have its desired effect? Then again, I guess somebody who doesn't believe wouldn't necessarily be seeking you out. But do you find there's various degrees of faith in this, of belief or understanding of this?
You're such a wise man. Yes.
Aw, thank you.
Yes, I do. The more evolved someone's soul is, the easier it is for me to do a reading for them. In the shamanic work, in the akashic, and in the past lives. If I hypnotize you and take you into a past life and you don't believe anything, it's harder to see it.
Mm.
And it's same way with the akashic records. And I've often had people that do that go in and are not necessarily not a believer. I think like you said, nobody's going to call me if they don't believe, right?
Right.
But there are varying degrees of evolution. There are some people on a different vibration than others. So the ones that are on a higher vibration are just really easy, right? Because they're really open.
It's 30 minutes past the hour. You're listening to The Other Side of Midnight. TJ McCormack talking to Pamela Beaty out on the West Coast. And I'm sorry to interrupt you with that, Pamela, but folks, if you have a question, if this stuff is ringing true, if you have a basic question, if you've experienced something like this, if you're skeptical, give us a call, 1-800-848-9222. And I'm going to get over to Stephen in a second. Pamela, I just wanted to throw this at you. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm thinking maybe because it's 3:30 in the morning on the East Coast, and it's that time of morning. What I was alluding to at the top of the show, but I have this odd lump in my throat as we're talking, and we're not talking about me. We're not talking about anything in particular, and yet I sort of feel emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Which, maybe I'm.
You want to know why?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? Okay.
I don't. No, actually, I wasn't even doing that. No, I wasn't. No, but. Oh my God!
You're having a response.
I'm not kidding.
I know, right? It's crazy, isn't it?
And I just met these producer dudes on the other side of the glass, and I'm getting emotional over here, and I'm serious. You know what? Let me jump over to Stephen in Queens. Stephen, get me out of this before I break into tears. And I'm serious. I really am. And we have St. Louis on line too in a moment. Stephen in Queens.
Yeah, hi. I'm listening to you with one ear, and I'm looking on my tablet about Akashic Records with the other ear. So, pardon me if I didn't hear everything you just said. But my question was, do people ever request the Akashic Records of somebody else, not themselves?
They do, but I won't do it. And the reason is you're not supposed to go into the Akashic Records, into someone else's Akashic Records. Now, you can go into your own Akashic Records, and we can look for the karma that you have with that person. Yes, we can do that. But to go into someone else's Akashic Records, it's kind of not allowed.
That answer your question there, Stephen?
I guess. Is it not allowed by you, or is it not allowed by
Yeah, is there is there if there's a set of ethics, for example, Pamela, who is that something that is sort of stipulated to by other healers? Is there something in some sort of passage somewhere that you would have been trained in, or is it just, look, we're just not going to do that? It's your own rule.
No, it's not my rule. Whose rule it is above my pay grade. So I'm not sure who. I'm not sure who made the original rule.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like there's a whole bunch of things in the universe. I'm not sure who started it, but I just know from going in it so many times that it is a very, I don't want to use the term serious, but it's sacred. It's a sacred place to go into.
That works.
So
I get that. Yeah.
That's why.
Stephen, thank you for calling in, buddy. I appreciate it. 1-800-848-9222. TJ McCormack here on Red Apple Audio Networks all across the country here on The Other Side of Midnight. We're talking to Pamela Beaty. And it is, if you're just tuning in, this is The Other Side of Midnight. And we have listening in St. Louis on KMOX. Eric, good morning and welcome to The Other Side of Midnight.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Well, I just wanted to call in and just share an experience I had recently. About 2 weeks ago, I had a full Kundalini awakening. And sorry, my phone's over here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go
ahead. I had a full Kundalini awakening, and it's been a spiritual journey for about 2 years, and it's been a build-up, and it just hit me out of nowhere. And I feel so liberated and relieved, and and I was just curious if anyone else has had that experience.
Pamela, what is Eric talking about when he says he had a full Kundalini? Was it awakening? Is that what you said?
Yes, correct.
Okay, Pamela.
How do I explain this? There's I believe the Kundalini is in at the base of the spine.
Okay.
And when you have that awakening, it is opening you up to who you truly are, to me. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. And it raises your vibration up to a new level.
I think his Kundalini just exploded.
Yeah. Exactly. And an awareness that your perspective on life, I'm sure, has changed.
Mm-hmm. Eric, has your understanding of what's been since this awakening? How has it manifested itself in your day-to-day life there, Eric?
Yeah, I felt I started my path of spiritual awakening because I kind of felt like a higher purpose in life, and and I felt there was more, and I wanted to understand things, and so certainly have dove full on and something I've been kind of wanting, a real connection to the divine, if you will, and have it. And I was talking to the divine. It was, and I use the word divine because I'm not quite sure what the higher spirits are, but it was like a collective speaking to me, and I was connected and speaking. And, it told me that the purpose of life was to spread love and be the light, quite frankly. And so, I feel liberated because all the trauma and experiences from the past, it cleansed me and it almost rewrote my DNA. And it's a phenomenal feeling because I just feel like a clean sheet of paper at this point with a higher knowledge and connection to the earth. And, it leaves you kind of confused because, your friends and your circle and your family, when you talk about this, they might quite understand. And so you feel a little bit disconnected, but I think you need to kind of leave past behind to start anew. And
sounds that
like
way.
I said, it happened 2 weeks ago. So, and I've read a lot that
I guess
people kind of come out confused.
So I guess you're paying attention and sort of taking mental notes along the way. I'm just going to ask you to please, take good care of your newly awakened Kundalini. It sounds like you're on the side of a road with cars flying by you at great speed. So be careful there in St. Louis, Eric. And thank you for calling in. This is The Other Side of Midnight, and it's 1-800-848-9222. We're talking to Pamela Beaty. This is such a fascinating. I'm right back where we were a bunch of years ago, Pamela, and we are sharing this experience with a national audience, and everyone is invited to call in, ask a question, explain your experience, explain your concerns. Anything that on this subject. Patricia is listening, WCCO in Rochester, Minnesota. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Hello. So you are intuitive.
I'm an intuitive empathic. I cross individuals to the other side.
Okay.
For the Creator.
Ooh. All right.
I work for the Creator, and I do it in unconditional love.
Let me before you roll on, and I'm really eager to hear what you have to say. A moment ago, Pamela, you mentioned that that some rules are and some other things are maintained and handled by a pay grade above you. Is that the Creator?
Yeah.
Is that what Patricia just referred to?
The Creator?
Is that the term you just used?
Yes, I refer to the Creator or anyone else and what you believe who created us.
Okay. So tell me, you told our producer that you're stuck in your life.
Yes,
tell us
stuck.
about that.
I'm also intuitive. I'm empathic. I'm also a medium psychic when I am basically asked to be. I'm usually called by the Creator to help individuals. And if you're at a bus stop or I give you advice, and others have done that for everyone else because we are all teachers and students. And I just wanted to ask her, I know my past lives. I've gone through them. I'm familiar with akashic records, and I am sort of stuck. My husband died, and he was right next to me, and we had a lot of signs and everything, and they all came into being because we decided all these things would happen, and he let me know that he crossed over quite well. And they would not allow me to cross him over, so I was not allowed, but he did cross over. So I just want to know, I'm sort of stuck in widowhood. I'm also going blind, and I know that every step that I've taken in my life that I have planned it, as she has said, and I would like to know what is my next step as a teacher and a fellow student. We're all fellow human beings, and we're learning here to basically what we're here for generally, if everybody wants to know, it is because we are here to learn unconditional love in the metaphysical world so that we make less mistakes. And we're not sinners. Sin means a mistake. We're here in a three-dimensional world in which we actually must learn hands-on our life. And each one of us has a planned life, and we are to learn about unconditional love. And we are not here to create death. We create life.
Pamela, let's ask Pamela. Patricia just gave us a lot to consider. How does what Patricia's saying strike you?
Well, first off, thank you for the work that you do, because in the time that we are in right now, it is very necessary to have as many light workers as we can doing that kind of work and helping to elevate the planet. As far as you being stuck, there's a couple of things. The first one, which is every day when I'm working with clients in the last 6 months to a year, that is the theme. Everyone is calling me, telling me they are stuck. So I know that we just went through 3 timeline shifts, which is you went from 3rd dimension to 5th dimension, and the parts of us that are still dangling there in the 3rd dimension have not caught up with the 5th dimension. And so it gives you the feeling you don't know where to go. And the simple explanation is because you haven't got there yet. You're still elevating your soul to the 5th dimension. So what that does is it creates confusion in the soul because part of you is still in 3rd dimension. So, and massive quantities of people are going from 3rd to 5th. When you have that many people, you being empathic, you're going to feel that. And you're going to feel the confusion. So to me, as an outsider, some of the confusion you're feeling, some of the stuckness you're feeling, honey, isn't yours. It's other people's. Because everyone around you is going through the same thing. There are souls that are going to be stuck in the 3rd dimension, but so many beings on this planet are now 5th dimensional beings. And when you're a 5th dimensional beings, and especially empaths like yourself, you're going to feel like TJ's an empath. He just hasn't identified it yet.
I haven't identified as an empath yet.
Yeah, that's why your throat closed up when I was talking about the akasha.
Yep.
And so that's a big reason why you feel. Sorry, I'm feeling stuff in my throat now. That's a big reason why you feel stuck. And the grieving that you're going through, it's making you're so used to vibrating at a higher rate that the grieving is slowing you down. Does that make sense? It's slowing your vibration down. As well of it good as, hold on just a second. They're showing me something. Just a minute. Because they're taking me out of this and taking me. I'm going to go. If you have a minute, TJ, you tell me if I'm allowed to do this.
Yep, sure. This is fascinating.
I'm going to go back to before you were born, when you were making these plans of what your life would be like, and see what the plan was, and maybe that'll help you get unstuck. I'm going back to before you're born to your pre-birth planning room. That's where you gather all the karmic.
I understand where you're going. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Well, I was explaining to TJ.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right, I got to prepare myself. Wait, before I go into a ball of tears, it's TJ McCormack with a lump in my throat on the other side of midnight, and Pamela Beaty's about to make me cry in front of all of you. It's 1-800-848-9222. Go ahead, Pamela.
Okay. Well, I was going back. I was going to go back to. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name.
Patricia.
I was going to go back to Patricia's, and then they pulled me out of Patricia and put me into
with him. Yes, that's fine.
You know how that happens. You know,
yes, I do. He's a loving soul.
Yes. So I'm going to go back to TJ's pre-birth planning. Hold on one second. Well, you had a whole, I want to call them grove, if you will. You had a ton of souls that, believe it or not, are watching you and helping you do what you do and helping you get messages out. I see a whole group of souls, and you were talking to them, and they were saying you were so excited to come into a body. You're like, I'm going to do it this time. I'm so determined. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do this. And then you have this group of people, probably from your home planet, that really want to help you. So they watch over you, and it's like you're the teacher, though, and they're the students, and you're teaching them. Now, this is going to make me cry. You're teaching them, the souls on the other side, how to survive on this side and how to be. I mean, I've talked to you 15 years. Maybe you're miserable, but you used to be pretty joyous.
I am joyful, and yet there are times when I just don't believe my own press. There are times are times when I just absolutely I am the living definition of imposter syndrome. Hold on to that thought, please. Patricia, Thank you so much for calling in. And hopefully you achieved a little bit of what you were hoping to. 1-800-848-9222. This is The Other Side of Midnight. I am TJ McCormack. We are talking to a dear soul herself, Pamela Beaty. You go to Pamela Beaty, one T, PamelaBeaty.net to learn more about this woman and what she does and how you might engage her. I really highly recommend that. Definitely give a call, friends. If any of this is resonating, if it's resonating and you don't know why, I think especially call If you're kind of like me and you're having this odd sort of twinge of emotion or a rush of recognition, if you're hearing something in Pamela's voice that is just so absolutely correct, if it makes so much sense to you, don't keep it to yourself. Please share it. 1-800-848-9222. Detective Nolan is ready to go. We're going to get to him as soon as we come back from this brief break. We will be right back here on The Other Side of Midnight with Pamela Beaty. 1-800-848-9222. We shall return immediately.
The Other Side of Midnight. The Other Side of Midnight.
And just let yourself go. Let all your pretensions go. Let all your preconceived notions go. I thought I knew everything 15 years ago when I first spoke to Pamela Beaty. And, you have to just sort of let it go. Suspend your disbelief. That's what we do here on The Other Side of Midnight. My name is TJ McCormack, and we are on all around the country on Red Apple Audio Networks. 1-800-848-9222. Jump onto Twitter, X, and grab me at TJ McCormack, and othersidetalk@gmail.com. 1-800-848-9222. Please join us. We're going to get to Detective Nolan in a quick moment. Pamela, let me ask you this real quick. You mentioned that you were getting a little emotional as you were telling me what you were encountering about me, and also I think while on the side you were juggling a little bit of what Patricia was talking about, and this was all hitting you. You're an empathic, intuitive, so you're just sort of a sponge for all of the. How do you protect your own energy when you're dealing with heavy or intense stuff?
Well, I have little systems I go through. For years, I didn't have to because this was a calling. So I knew I was automatically protected by spirit. But I've been doing this now for 40 years, so I had to develop some protection. So I have usually white sage spray. I have crystals. After every session, it's going to sound funny, but it's real. After every session, I go into the bathroom, I flip on the light and flip on the fan and visualize any negativity or heavy emotions that the last person has left, and I lift them from the bottom of my feet all the way out to the top of my head. Then I do some grounding techniques to protect me now. And that I do it every day. I have to.
Well, now so do I.
By the way,
yes, ma'am.
I asked while you were taking the break.
Yes.
I asked your spirit guides and your higher consciousness a little bit more about what's going on. There is a specific reason why you have imposter syndrome.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh really?
There have been several lifetimes that you were, and I hate this. I hate that I have to say this, but well known. I won't say famous. I'll say well known.
Okay.
And when that happened, you stopped being humble.
Okay.
So your higher consciousness said before you came into the body, I'm going to make sure I am humble and sincere and honest, which you are. Mm-hmm. And so part of that, to the subconscious mind, to protect you and to keep you safe and keep you being humble, it created an imposter syndrome.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. That's fascinating. We have 3 minutes to talk to Nolan here in New York City. Nolan, thank you for waiting so long. And by the way, Pamela, can you stick around into the next hour? Is that possible?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'd love
thank you.
Thank you.
Detective, go ahead. Talk, please.
TJ, thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it. And Pamela, thank you for being here tonight. I'm looking for guidance. I'm involved in 2 investigations at the moment, and one of them being the problems that are plaguing Newark Airport. That's one. And the second investigation is who killed Davon Dillahunt. I'm at a loss for the second one. Newark is making some progress right now, but I cannot find who killed Davon Dillahunt.
Okay. All right. Detective, thank you, Detective Nolan. And Pamela, I'm going to guess you're going to kind of take a pass on that, but I mean, I don't know. Did something jump out at you?
It is, that kind of stuff is not something I usually do.
No.
But with reason, I can tell you what it is. Because for me to work, when I have worked with the police in the past, and I kind of got away from it, because I'm such an intense empath, I literally relive the death.
Ooh, wow.
So I become the victim and go through the death and go through what happened to them.
Oh.
And yeah, so I had to stop doing it. Because what happened, I have to be careful even watching Dateline.
Wow.
Because the name, if I tune in and see the real person, the real name of the person, and they talk about, sometimes that person shows up, that victim shows up. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I have a spirit here with me.
Oh, my goodness.
So I had to quit. I'm so sorry. I want to help you.
Right.
If you send me an email, I'll be glad to answer your question. I'll call you back, and we'll do it when I feel a little safer.
Pamela, we're up against the hard break. When we come back from the top of the hour break, I'm going to ask Pamela about the abilities of young children, what they can, quote unquote, see. I'm going to ask her a question about my own daughter, Trixie.
PMS, pregnancy, menopause. Being a woman is a lot. Ollie supports you and yours with expert solutions for every age and life stage. They just launched 2 new products exclusively at Walmart. Period Hero combats bloat, mood swings, and more during PMS. And Balance Perimeno to support hormonal balance, mood, and metabolism during perimenopause. Grab yours at ollie.com. Ollie! These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. Watch The 4 Seasons, a new series starring comedy favorites Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, and more in a hilarious and heartfelt love letter to long-term relationships. Based on the original Alan Alda film. Watch The 4 Seasons, streaming now only on Netflix.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
My name is TJ McCormack. This is The Other Side of Midnight here on Red Apple Audio Networks all around the country, including KDAWN, KDWN 720 in Las Vegas. 1-800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. We are talking to an old flame. We are talking to Pamela Beaty. You go to PamelaBeaty.net. That's with 1 T. PamelaBeaty.net. And Pamela is a shamanic healer and an empathic intuitive, and it's just fascinating to open up a can of conversation with this woman. Please join us, 800-848-9222. Jump onto Twitter at TJ McCormack and at, is it at Pamela Beaty on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle?
It's at the Pamela Beaty.
The Pamela Beaty. Okay, very cool.
Beaty. I just started it.
Cool.
I was not social media, so I haven't even set everything up yet.
All right. Well, it's there. I know it's working. I found it. I know I found it, so it's there.
Go.
And and you can also drop a line at othersidetalk@gmail.com, and you can find Pamela's contact at her website. Pamela, I've been itching to bounce this off you. And again, gang, if any of this, as soon as something resonates, give us a call at 848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. This is, all right, so I have two daughters now. When I first met you, I think I might have just had our oldest, Millie. And eventually along came Trixie. And I see you there, Julie, in North Jersey. We're going to get to you in just a second. Along came Trixie, and she is now 13 years old. And there was a time when Trixie was about maybe 2.5, maybe 3, maybe
I
3.
thought it 3. Yeah.
Okay, and we were at the park, just a regular playground with a park with a playground, and another mom was there with like a newborn, and she said to me, out of the blue, Pamela, my Trixie said to me, she said, "Daddy," she says, "you're not for you and Mommy. I chose you and Mommy."
Oh.
And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, again, matter of factly, like a 3-year-old. She goes, "Yeah, but you're not my forever Mommy and Daddy."
Oh my God. That's
she
so
looks
beautiful.
She looks over at the baby. This was like in one profound moment. All of this like an avalanche. She then says, she points over to the baby and she goes, babies know everything. He knows everything. That baby knows everything. She said, but then we forget it.
Yeah, the veil of forgetfulness. Yes,
the veil.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, can I ask you what your reaction to that was?
There was something. I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't silly. I knew whatever she was saying was. I had to believe it. It's a 3-year-old telling me this.
It's a 3-year-old.
You can't dismiss it because a 3-year-old, didn't just put down a magazine. He was making stuff up, right? So I had to believe it.
Yeah, parents often dismiss what their children are saying. I mean, mine did when I was a kid. They had threatened to put me in a mental institution because of all the spirits I was talking to, right? So it's beautiful that you accepted what she was telling you as truth. How would a 3-year-old know to make that up?
Exactly.
3-year-olds, when we come into the body, we do go through the veil of forgetfulness, so that we don't. I mean, I didn't because I remember past life, but most people go through the veil, and the reason you go through that, like even as children when they first come in, the reason you do that is because you want to get as much soul growth out of this life as you can. So you set it up before you come into the body so that you get, when people are always worried about that triggers me.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. It's everything. It's supposed to trigger you, right? It'll trigger you into spiritual growth, right? We don't grow from being happy. We grow when we have negativity in our lives, right? That's when our spirit grows. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But with children, before the break, you had said something about it. The children, this is my belief anyway, that are coming into the body now are very, very wise souls. And the reason they're coming into the body now is because the earth plane is shifting into a whole new realm. Like I said before, we shifted timelines, but also there's fifth dimensional shift. And it's really powerful and really beautiful. I'm going to cry for the soul's growth, right? It's so perfect a time to come into the body because there's so much opportunity. So souls that are coming in, like even when your daughter was coming in during that time, souls that were coming in then, a lot of them are light beings. A lot of them are from even other dimensions because And I think those souls are scattered throughout the globe.
Wow.
Right?
Well, you know what?
Get balance.
We're here on the other side of midnight. We're hitting a groove. We're hitting a real groove here. 1-800-848-9222. We're talking. We're very, very lucky to be talking to Pamela Beaty. And I want to get to Julie in North Jersey, and I'm gonna let Julie tell you why she's calling. Julie, good morning. Welcome. You're talking to Pamela Beaty.
Good morning. I tuned in late into the show, so I don't know what you guys were talking about before, but I just heard the last few minutes, and I'm just trying to see if you could get any sense of any messages or any kind of feeling from my son who had passed away, and if there's any kind of what you could tell me, anything, any sense of.
Can you give me his first name, sweetie?
Daniel.
Okay, give me a second to find him. Hold on. Was Daniel would you have called him a thinker?
A thinker?
A thinker.
Yeah, Daniel was a thinker. Mm-hmm.
He was or wasn't?
He was, yes.
Okay. Because when I called out that name, what I got was somebody, that statue of the thinker?
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting like that, and he is, how do I say this? This sounds like I'm just going to say it. He's in a great place in that he's figured it all out. He's figured out the reasons why he left. He didn't. Give me a second. He's saying something. Okay. Oh. He felt bad that he left when he first left. He felt bad, but he's moved into a room where he totally understands it. And he wasn't super young, right?
33.
Yeah, because he was showing me a little older. That's the reason I was. But he doesn't want you to. Okay, he's confusing me. Why would he say he doesn't want you to think it's not intentional?
Because it wasn't. It was just part of his life.
Did somebody think it was?
Yeah, my sister, yes.
It wasn't.
No.
No, it wasn't at all. And he, when you said this, if I could say anything for him, that's the one thing he wanted you to know. He said, I would never have left you. Does that make sense to you? Does that resonate?
Yeah, it does.
So he said, I wouldn't have done it. And he had a hard time. I am nothing if not honest. And he had a hard time as he crossed over, because when we cross over, our souls don't only look at what we've done, we look at how we've made other people feel, right? Because we're all one. So we look at the karma and we look at how, and he saw, I'm having trouble talking because it's so emotional. He saw how it made you feel. And the reason he wants you to know it was not purposeful, is because he saw how it made you feel. He would never intentionally make you feel that bad. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He would never, you know him, he would never intentionally, he saw how bad it made you feel. He knew how bad it'd make you feel if you'd have done something like that. He would have never done something like that.
Pamela, may I ask a question just real quick? And I want to talk to Rosie in a moment. Is Daniel onto, and forgive me for the elementary nature of this question, is Daniel onto another life now? Have you encountered him having moved on?
Have I encountered him?
I'm like what you're getting from Daniel.
Yes. No,
is he living another life? I'm sorry to say it in such a ham-fisted sort of way, but
I'll tell you why it's an open question, because of my belief system. I believe this is the in-between life. I believe the other side is true life.
Wow.
So in that respect, yes, he's moved on.
That's amazing.
But I do believe, in answer to your question a little bit farther, I do believe that he will return. And right now, I'm just going to tell you what his plans are right now. His plans are right now to probably come back, because he wasn't necessarily happy with the way things turned out, and that's what he's thinking.
And you're back to thinking again. He's thinking.
Yeah.
He's still contemplating.
He's still contemplating. Wow. Can I move on? Can he move on and let go of the earth plane?
Yeah.
He hasn't figured that out completely and totally yet.
There you go, Julie. There you go. We've got to take a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Rosie in Naples. This is TJ McCormack on the other side of midnight, 1-800-848-9222. Rosie, we're coming to you in a moment.
The other side of midnight.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course. PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operations and seamless transactions. Together, we enhance ticketing and concessions for better fan experiences from gate to green. This is pro-level efficiency. This is PGA of America with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
It's The Other Side of Midnight.
Good morning, everyone. My name is TJ McCormack. This is The Other Side of Midnight. We're having a heck of a show. We're really relating to one another. We're hearing some interesting stuff. The phones are lighting up because we're striking a chord. All of this is resonating. We're talking to Pamela Beaty, who is an empathic intuitive. She is a past life therapist, and I'm just drawn. I don't know. I just keep saying, and a gentle soul. There's just a way about her delivery and the way that she receives this stuff. 1-800-848-9222. The Other Side of Midnight. And Rosie has been waiting. Rosie is in Naples, but she's listening on WGN. She's old school in her radio choices. I like that. Good morning, Rosie. Welcome to The Other Side of Midnight.
Good morning to you, and thank you so much. I think it was kind of meant to be. I was sleeping, and I woke up, and I had the radio on, and what Pamela was, some of what she was saying is resonating so well to me, especially with it having been Mother's Day 2 days ago.
Yes.
Both of my daughters have passed away.
Sorry.
And when she mentioned how you plan your life before you're born, I'm just wondering what path could I have possibly planned to lose both of my children in this life? Not just for me, but for them. And it's a that part of it is a mystery to me.
Pamela?
Well, you know what, sweetie, I can understand that, but by the way your daughters are watching over you, here's the thing: before we come into the body, we're making decisions based out of our higher consciousness. That part of us, part of our consciousness that kind of knows everything, and it knows all the things that we have to work on and all the opportunities for soul growth. It knows that. Now, your daughters and you would consciously ever choose something like that. It's too painful. You wouldn't consciously do it. But your higher consciousness is the one making the decisions. Your higher consciousness is the one drawing the people you have karma with, because that's going to give you the most opportunity for spiritual growth. And with you and your daughters, and I am so sorry you lost both of them. I know how difficult that is. But with both of them, it's like you don't know what their karma is. And again, you don't know what their higher consciousness was thinking for them to leave before you. But I guarantee you, I promise you, it's for a good reason. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a punishment. Death is not a punishment. We on this side, we grieve their loss, but you don't know what the karmic opportunity is. And you made that choice from a higher consciousness perspective. Because when we're in the state of higher consciousness, when we aren't coming into a physical form, we know everything. And we know how far our soul has come. We know exactly the kind of soul growth we need. We work with spirit guides on the other side. We work with the council. Everybody gets together in the pre-birth planning, and everybody talks about, okay, so what's the best way? So I'm going to get emotional. What's the best way for me to get everything that I need in this lifetime? Oh, I know. And your daughter's souls came up and said, here's what we'll do. We'll give you the opportunity for the spiritual growth. Like us leaving sooner will give you more opportunity for growth. Because, and I'm telling you this as not in general, but your soul is really right at the precipice of moving on to leaving the earth plane and going to higher realms. Your soul really wants to do that. And it wanted to be able to understand things in a much deeper way. And that is why you chose that path, because your higher consciousness thought it was a good idea. It thought, oh, I know a way to get more spiritual growth. We'll have tragedy. Mm. And nobody ever grows when there's happy, happy, joy, joy. We get our growth from tragedy.
Yeah, it's the second time you said that. Yeah, and it resonates every time you say it. It's true. I can vouch for that. And it's also how I was taught to pray. And on in a purely religious sense, that's I remember, and I was in my 30s when I was taught how to pray properly, and part of it was asking for God's will to be done, and and basically and really meaning it, and saying if this is now, we were praying for my first daughter we were praying for a heartbeat. We wanted to actually conceive, and I remember being told by this priest to pray for God's will and meaning it, and saying, if this is not your intention, that this particular go round should be our first child, well, then thank you for the opportunity to grow. Great, thank you for the opportunity to be there for my wife. So that's why that's resonating when you say that. Rosie, thank you for calling, and thank you for being there for us. Wow, Danielle is in Brooklyn. Danielle, you're on the other side of midnight with TJ and Pamela Beaty. Good morning.
Good morning. It's just so crazy because I had a different question when I originally first called, and because I heard the first segment with that other woman with her son, and now listening to you now with the last caller, I'm definitely resonating with a lot of this. I've always like felt things. Like I'm definitely like empathic myself, but I recently had a significant loss. One of my best friends had passed away, and I wasn't sure if like she is able to like pick up on anything with that, and if
at 30 minutes past the hour, this is the other side of midnight. Are you asking Pamela if she's picking up on anything? Is that what you're asking, Danielle?
Yeah, like anything like with like I've always like felt like that I can feel certain like things with people that have passed. So I wasn't sure like if she was, since she was able to like read up on the last two callers like so well.
Pamela,
if she could pick anything up on me.
Here's the thing. But hi, how are you? Before your soul came into the body, it had been in many other incarnations. Your soul had been, let's call it, unhappy with your soul growth, and it's like you're. By the way, I don't know if you're what a light being is, but you're a light being, right? Which means you're just a little bit higher vibration. And so you really wanted to feel more about what other people felt. And the reason that you did is because in some of the other lifetimes that you've had, you did not think you were compassionate enough. And you wanted to make sure in this lifetime that you were filled with compassion for people. So you said, oh, I know, I'll be empathic. That will do it. Because empaths are always more compassionate for other people. So you thought, well, this is going to be great. I'll be really empathic. But the problem with most souls is the higher consciousness doesn't remember the density of the earth plane. So. And also, the higher consciousness has a different perspective. As far as the higher consciousness is concerned, the earth plane's a piece of cake. And I always say the higher consciousness is getting ready to come in the body, and it goes, okay, so this is going to be great. Snap, wasn't it? Because we think we live an average life expectancy of 85 to 90 years, and that's just not, from a higher consciousness perspective, it's a blink of an eye. So you thought it would be a really good thing to be an empath.
Does that make sense, Danielle?
It's lovely. I'm sorry.
Does that make sense? Is that resonating with you?
Yeah, I've always felt like I know I have I've always been called an old soul. Like I know I definitely have like an old soul. There's things about me that just always seemed like innate in a way.
Let me ask you a quick question. Okay. Oh, gosh, hold on. I just lost it. Are you more emotional than most people that you know?
Yes.
Yes. Your spirit guide just told me to tell you, listen, tell her why. It is not because something is wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. You're more emotional. Most of the time, it's not even your emotions. You're just picking up on everybody else's. And then your conscious mind is like, oh, it's so emotional. Oh, it's because, wait, I know, I don't have enough money. It's your conscious mind is constantly trying to find reasons why sometimes you're so emotional. And it's nothing to do with your life. You're picking up on all these other people's emotions. And I don't know if you've noticed, but right now, a lot of the world is kind of in chaos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Imagine how that makes you feel.
If you're just tuning in, this is The Other Side of Midnight. Danielle, did you expect to hear this when you called in, or
I mean, it's pretty much like I pretty much like kind of like already like I know like the reason why like I've felt the way I felt was I had a nervous breakdown actually about almost 2 years ago, and that pain that you feel like it made me realize it like something came out of that was like made me realize that everything that I've felt like in the past, like whether like it was my depression or anxiety, like a lot of it had to do with the people that were around me, like my parents always fighting growing up and etc. Like I know like the reason why I felt the way I felt was due to their feelings, and it wasn't always on me. But having that experience, having the nervous breakdown, like having that like suffering that kind of pain, like it opened me up to a lot of other things that were just my best friend had to pass away a couple of weeks prior to my nervous breakdown, and like he like I wasn't sure if I was going crazy or like if he was like speaking to me, but like I can I'm able to feel things not just here like in the physical, like but like I don't know, like for certain, like that I felt things that from people that had passed on. Like I don't know if like she could pick up on that at all.
Well, you're when we come into a body, like I said, the veil of forgetfulness, we don't want to remember everything because we want more opportunity for spiritual growth. The thing is that it's like your nervous breakdown was not your nerves. It was everybody else getting on them.
Oh, wow. All of America just lit up with a big wow. Ain't that something, isn't it? And Danielle, the first time that Pamela just nailed me 15 years ago, I still remember what that felt like. Are you getting like, are you just sort of all of a sudden sitting up way straight right now, Danielle, and going, oh my God.
I'm laughing because I had actually ended a 10-year relationship with my ex-fiance 2 weeks prior to that. So I had the loss of my best friend, and which was a week before the 2 weeks before I had my nervous breakdown, which was when I had broke up with my 10-year relationship with my ex fiance. So like losing him and everything that I thought I had and would have like set me like over the edge.
How you doing now, Danielle? You feeling? You're good. You sound good.
Really well.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Well, thank you for making the show better. Thank you for contributing. I really, seriously, thank you for making this thing move tonight. I appreciate that, Danielle. This is TJ on the other side of midnight. We're talking to Pamela Beaty. 1-800-848-9222. Jim in Nutley, New Jersey. Jim, thank you for hanging in there. You have a great question. Go ahead and ask away.
Yes, good morning. I'm interested in knowing if there's any way to stop reincarnation, because when I pass away, I just don't want to come back anymore. I mean, I feel like I had so many lives, and I'm tired of coming back, and I don't feel like I belong in this time period.
Well, that is a beautiful question. Thank you so much, and yes, I can answer it actually. Yes, there is absolutely a way to stop reincarnating, and it is, especially now that we're in the fifth dimension, all you've got to do is say to the universe, I'm done. And not in a bad way. You don't want to be done because things are awful and miserable. You want to be done because you're happy and you're joyous. And the earth plane is meant to evoke emotions, right? That's the whole point of coming here, because that's where that's how the soul grows. So if you don't want to come back, first step is practice and work on self-love, because we keep coming back because we don't like ourselves. We don't like aspects of ourselves. So we know that reincarnation gives us the opportunity for growth, right? So we choose to come back. You don't have to ever choose to come back. All you got to do is be happy with yourself. Be happy how you lived your life. Have compassion, have understanding, have self-love, and then you won't have a need to come back. We come back to learn self-love.
Pamela, what if somebody is actually, and Jim, stick there for a sec. What if the person is actually, in fact, then again, who are we to judge? But what if the person is not really actually where you're saying they need to be happy? Are they able to fake it? I mean, are they? I'm sorry, that was so clumsy. But I mean, does the creator that was referred to earlier know better? And if Jim says, "Look, I'm happy. Yeah. You know what? I'm tired of this." And yes, whoever's asking, I'm happy now. I'm happy. Can I please just be done? Does that creator, and I'm being goofy only just to move along my question, but does the creator basically say, Jim, you're not actually quite there yet. I'm going to give you one more go round. And I'm being clumsy, but I'm trying to be literal to ask the question.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to take a second and think about how I want to answer this in the shortest way possible.
Okay.
The creator is, how do I say this? Not involved in that kind of decision.
Okay.
The creator is nothing but love. The creator is nothing but joy and just wants you to be happy. So if you say, I'm happy, I want to go, the creator says, okay, you can. Now, that being said, that's the creator. That being said, when you leave here, you know exactly who you are. You don't have to fake it to other beings because it's you. Because there's no punishment. There's nobody judging on the other side. There's nobody saying, you got to go back, buddy. You choose. It is simply a choice. Nobody likes to think it's that simple, but it is. You go, you know what? I'm done playing that game. I don't want to go back. Then it's up to you. But when you get to the other side, you see your soul's growth. The whole point of all of this existence is to get back to God, get back to the Creator. That's the whole point. That's why we keep coming back over and over again. If you're satisfied with yourself, nobody's gonna question you. They're going to advise you. You go, you look at yourself. You see how you made other people feel. You see how you felt about yourself. And if you're like, okay, but I can get it someplace else.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to question you. They're going to help you. Everybody, I was raised to think that, judgment. There's a lot of judgment on the other side, and that's not my experience. It's simply not true. So the creator, I don't think, is involved in the decision. Right. That's just me. But what do I know?
What do you know? You're just Pamela Beaty, who happens to actually know everything, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for calling in. I hope you've been given all the tools you need to get out of this thing. John in Jamestown. John in Jamestown has an interesting question. John, welcome to the other side of midnight.
Here in Chautauqua County.
Lovely. Welcome.
Yes. Yeah, just for full disclosure, TJ and I have known each other for as long as he's been in radio. So I remember you.
You do?
Yes, I do. I'm one of the group that ended up being called TJ's Talkers.
Oh boy, yes. John is
that brings back a lot of
John is the very definition of long-time listener, many-time caller. And so, John, but you have an interesting question or comment here for.
Yeah, well, I actually have two.
Okay,
one's real quick, and I believe you said no the last time I asked you. 18 years ago. God, has it been that long? Have you ever been to Lilydale?
Have I ever been what?
To Lilydale.
Lilydale? Is that a place?
Yes, it is a place.
What?
And if you've been there, you know it. If you're in the community of that type of people, you would know it.
Does that ring a bell, Pamela?
Is it the autistic place?
No.
Okay. All right, so that's a no.
Yeah, it's actually a community of spiritualists, mediums. I hate to use the word psychics because that's kind of gotten a bad connotation, so I'll say psionics.
So then no.
Okay, so no.
Okay.
So what's this about your family, John? What were you going to ask?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know as much. Well, actually, you know about my parents, but I've since learned that my older sister has passed as well, and we're leaving me as the last of my family. Oh. So I'm that one little leaf out of the end of the branch that's still hanging on. I'm just wondering if you have any feelings or any information about what's happening with those who have gone.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the people that showed up for you here suddenly. Let's see. Give me a second. I need to get them back. Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. Of all the people in your family that have passed away, which one do you think is more evolved, yourself or them? I'll tell you why I'm asking the question. Because there was it looks like 3, maybe 4 people, souls showed up, and they seem to think that you would be the one that would be okay by himself if they went ahead and left. And your higher consciousness just told me that this is the way it said it. I want to be there for the fireworks.
Does that ring a bell?
All right. A big general, but
I can tell you a little more. I'm just telling you what they said.
No. I mean, it's definitely sounds like them.
Oh, it does. Okay, because they before all of you came into the body, you got together, right? And you figured out, I'm going to call it a pecking order, and they were to help you get to who you really truly are. Because when I'll just call them fireworks because that's what they call them. But when there's another big transition coming on the earth plane, right? Another big one. The 5th dimensional beings will not be involved in it, but the 3rd dimensional beings will be involved in it, and you wanted to be here.
Okay, let me stop you there. Should I be calling Michio Kaku? Because when you talk about dimensions, all I'm hearing is like hyperspace physics.
All you're hearing is
I'm sorry.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Physics. Yeah, it's like he's given a couple lectures where he's been talking about like 11 dimension or even 21 dimension physics, and it's like,
does physics even get?
When you're talking about dimensions, that kind of throws me.
Well, let me jump in here, John, and we have to get to a break. So actually, John, thanks for the jumping off point there. And it's, as always, great to hear your voice there, buddy. Pamela, does what you do and what you know about and what you live on a daily basis, does something like physics, or does that even touch your realm?
Well, I'd have to say quantum physics does. Physics itself, I would think so, because it's quantum physics. I'm certainly not a scientist, but quantum physics touches into what my belief is, that we are a soul with a body, not a body with a soul.
Wow.
So when you raise the vibration of the body, which is quantum healing, right? When you get into the quantum aspect of the soul, it is just energy. So energy and physics connects with me. But the math part and the science part, no, I can't tell you anything about that. Right?
Well, good. Then we're a perfect pair. We've got about 12 minutes to go till we wrap this thing up. So we're going to take one final little quick break here, and we'll come back and close it out with our dear friend Pamela Beaty. This is The Other Side of Midnight. My name is TJ McCormack. 1-800-848-9222. 222. We'll be right back.
The Other Side of Midnight.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel? Or that white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
Holiday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength, Holiday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Holiday. Holiday, bring it on.
Clorox Sentiva smells like lavender. Cleans like Clorox. And feels like...
All right, that could go on for a while. Experience the long-lasting freshness of Clorox Sentiva. Available in Clorox Sentiva Lavender Scented Bleach. Use as directed.
The Other Side of Midnight.
This is The Other Side of Midnight. My name is TJ McCormack. We're talking to Pamela Beaty, and if you want to talk to Pamela Beaty about what we've been talking about for the last 2 hours, and this was only supposed to be a 1 hour visit, I am so grateful, Pamela, for you sticking around. 1-800-848-9222. Pamela, you know, I think there's a lot of people at home right now. And again, this time of night, I think, is just ideal for this sort of conversation. Are there any rituals or any sort of intellectual, spiritual workouts or practices that people can do to get spiritually connected, or if they are, to stay there? How do you have any suggestions on what people can do to be in the right place for this part of their lives?
I'll tell you how I did it.
Okay.
First step, pay attention. Most people are going around and not paying it. You know, people are always asking God and the universe for signs, but they don't even see them when they show them to them. So pay attention. That's the first thing. What's going on? Second thing is absolutely meditate. When I first started out, I was meditating a good hour and a half every day without fail, 7 days a week. And I think that really helped me more than anything. And I would suggest a simple little thing, which is get a notebook. And I called mine Today I Noticed notebook. And I would write down the date and time. And if I saw something that, I call it God's slow-mo. When the universe is trying to get my attention, everything slows down a little bit. And what I had to realize is it's not giving me the answer right then. I may need the information the next day, but they always give me the information. So I write down the day, I write down what happened, I write down the time. And then 2 hours later, if somebody calls me and they're calling me to ask a question about what I wrote down, then I'll know that's the universe trying to talk to me, right?
Yeah.
So get a notebook and write down things you notice. You know, we all have it when we think about somebody and then they call us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, write that down, because paying attention and confirmation are the two most powerful tools you can use to raise your vibration and to raise up your intuition. Pay attention. That's the biggest thing. Just pay attention. And the other thing is perspective.
Okay.
If you want to change your life, change your perspective.
I
think for people, the best thing they can do is stop looking at everything as pain and suffering and look at it as opportunity. Anything and everything that happens is not meant to punish, and it's not It's meant to make you aware and to wake you up. And so the first thing you should do when something ostensibly bad happens, stop and think, okay, what am I getting out of this? What kind of spiritual growth is coming my way because of it?
Yeah.
That in and of itself will raise your vibration and make you more intuitive because you're paying attention.
Gang, do yourself a favor and go and spend a little time at Pamela Beaty with one T, PamelaBeaty.net. She's the Pamela Beaty in my heart and on Twitter. And she's the I hate the quick fashion with which we close out these programs. So let me say now that I'm going to reach out tomorrow to say hi and to thank you properly for tonight. And for the purposes of ending the show on time, I'm going to say goodbye to you and thank you now. But we'll do a more formal, loving thanks tomorrow, if that's okay.
Awesome. Thank you, PJ.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It was great to have you on. It was better than I remembered, and thank you so much, Pamela Beaty, for joining us here on The Other Side of Midnight. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, Pamela.
Thanks for listening to The Other Side of Midnight. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?